What's up everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Corey with Freaky Tall Reviews and today we're taking a look at the king of tall bicycles. It's from the company DirtySixer and this has to be one of the most insane bicycles I've ever seen in my entire life. I've had it for the past few months and I've got a lot of great testing on it, so I'm excited to showcase this bike and bring it to the channel. That way if you're considering one, you'll have a great idea of what to expect when you get it. So let's get started. Before we get rolling too far, there will be timestamps in the description below so you can skip ahead if you'd like. I'm going to cover some backstory on DirtySixer, how the bike is made, my actual review of it, and then my final thoughts. Now I will go ahead and let you know right off the bat, I think this bike is fantastic. But I also want you to know I receive no financial kickbacks from this video, and this is simply a demo bike that I do have to ship back, so there is no incentive for me to give a positive review. So I want you as my viewer to know that whatever I say today is my actual thoughts on this bike. So in 2011, David Folk, the founder and CEO of DirtySixer, crashed his bicycle and broke his ankle. It only had 29-inch tires and it was just a little bit larger than your average bicycle, but not specifically designed for a taller rider in mind. Being 6 foot 6 inches himself, David realized that there's not just a need for a bigger bicycle, but a bicycle designed specifically for taller people. So he began working with California-based fabricators to design a bike that's specifically designed for a taller rider in mind. And he officially launched DirtySixer in 2013 at the Sea Otter Classic bike event. Since then, David has been working tirelessly to perfect the DirtySixer to make it more and more comfortable for taller riders. There's also been tons of celebrities and professional sports figures endorsing DirtySixer bikes, and you might have actually seen one where Shaq was riding one in a commercial for American Express, and that'll give you a really good feel of how big this bike is, which I'll showcase in just a little bit later in the video. Real quick, be sure to check out my Twitter and my Instagram where you'll see behind the scenes pictures of me riding this bike and also other parts of the channel that you don't see in these videos. This bike specifically is the AllRoad Mark II. It's manufactured out of Taiwan, where many top name brand bicycle companies produce their products such as Trek, Specialized, Surly, Salsa, All City, Rivendell, and many others. So the biggest question for me when I first got it was what makes it different from a normal bicycle? The biggest piece is weight distribution. Now I realized this a long time ago that as a bigger and taller person, I sit very top heavy on a bicycle. You've seen me showcase in the past the Del Sol XL, which is meant for riders up to about 6'4" to 6'5". And while the tires are 29 inches, which are kind of bigger, they're kind of an industry standard now. So what they did was just make the frame a little bigger. But what that does is it makes you sit higher on the bike so you're more top heavy. Now I always kind of noticed this as a taller rider, but I didn't realize how much of a problem it was until I sat on a bike that was specifically designed for my height. The way that a DirtySixer is designed is so that you kind of sit inside the bike a little bit so you have better weight distribution. This allows you to take turns better and have a better center of gravity when you're riding the bike, which is extremely noticeable when you're riding it. I felt a lot more confident in tight turns than I normally would have because it felt like I could actually lean with the bike, whereas before I just felt like I was going to topple over. What's also different on a DirtySixer bike is the saddle height. There's a specific way that you actually measure for your saddle height, and it's based on your leg extension. When I sat on this DirtySixer, I could barely put both feet on the ground. And this specific model is designed for people from 6'6" to 6'9". So me at 6 foot 10 inches with a 38-inch inseam, struggling to put both feet on the ground, unheard of, and I've never experienced anything like it. I'll also share more later in the video where when you order a DirtySixer, David himself actually helps make sure that you have the proper sized bike based on your leg extension and your saddle height. Another thing that makes the DirtySixer so much different from normal bikes is it has a 36-inch tire. It's literally bigger than the tires on my truck. It also has dual front disc brakes that are similar to that of a motorcycle, which you don't see on hardly any bicycles. And David is actually also working on DirtySixer made tires that he plans to roll out later this year, but he does have replacement inner tubes for these tires that you can find on DirtySixer.com. And while he doesn't recommend it, David did say that you can keep a 29-inch inner tube in your backpack that will make do in case of an emergency, but ideally you're really going to want a 36-inch inner tube if you need a replacement. Now one thing I was concerned about when it came to a bike that's bigger in almost every aspect is how much more do the parts cost? If everything on the bike is unique and you can't just go to a bike shop to get it, is it going to be that much more expensive? Not necessarily, because while a lot of the bike is unique to DirtySixer, there's also a lot of it that you can get at local bike shops. The things that are larger on a DirtySixer are the frame tubing, the wheels with double-walled plus-sized rims, thicker spokes, handlebars with custom larger grips, custom pedals, but the only thing specific to DirtySixer that you'll have to order at DirtySixer.com are the tires and spokes in case you break any. However, when you order a bike, DirtySixer also includes extra spokes in case you break any, mainly because you have to order them specifically from them and they want to provide extra because you can't just get them anywhere. Outside of the parts I just listed, all other parts are standard to that of downhill mountain bikes. The difference on a DirtySixer though is that David refused to cut corners on product quality, so everything that a DirtySixer is made out of higher quality materials, but if you had to replace them with with cheaper parts in some areas of the bike, you can do that. It also has micro shift gears that are similar to Shimano and has a wide range of gears for most riders with 11 to 48 teeth that will give enough choice for all type of terrains, even steeper hills. There's also an add-on coming later this year from DirtySixer that makes it compatible with a 1000-watt BBSHD Bafang electric mid-drive kit. That way you can add an electric motor onto the bike. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is a demo bike. This is not the production bike, so there are going to be differences on this bike that are closer to the first Mark generation versus the Mark II that'll be coming out later in 2022. Some of the noticeable differences on the production bike include a 15mm front axle instead of the 20mm on this prototype one, 12mm through rear axle instead of quick release, and production models will include a specific tool to remove these axles in a small tool bag. Production bikes will also have different rear dropouts with eyelets to attach the optional custom rear rack, and DirtySixer is working on potential fenders coming later down the line. The brake splitter will be attached to the rear of the fork for better integration, and the custom grip molds for big hands that are the largest on the market at 43mm in diameter are similar to old school oversized BMX grips. DirtySixer bikes also come with custom sized pedals made of CNC aluminum that sit on a steel axle the width of the pedal platform. Most pedal axles only go about halfway along the pedal, so going the full length of the pedal gives better support and stability and allows it to hold higher weight capacities, and it also utilizes dual ball bearings at the end of each pedal axle. There's also triple eyelets on the down tube and the seat tube where you can attach big water bottle cages or custom frame bags. The finish could also be different on the production bike instead of white, but DirtySixer will release more on that later in the year. Now, this AllRoad Mark II DirtySixer comes in at $5,000. At first, I'm like, I've never paid more than like $500 for a bike, but after thinking about it, it's absolutely worth it, and I'll tell you why in just a second. DirtySixer does offer a payment system, so you don't have to do a big lump sum payment to buy one. The owner, David, also personally works with every DirtySixer client to ensure that you get the proper measurement, and as you can see right here, he has custom measurements for DirtySixer bikes to make sure that they fit you perfectly. Now, this prototype is the 3XL AllRoad Mark II, and it's designed specifically for people 6'5" to 6'9". So for me, while it's super comfortable to ride, I would actually get the 4XL version being 6'10", that covers people from 6'9" up to 7'1". But it doesn't stop there. The biggest DirtySixer bike you can get is a 5XL, and it fits people from 7'1" up to 7'5". I can't even imagine how big that bike is, because this 3XL is gigantic, and the fact that there's 2 more sizes above that blows my mind. If you're enjoying this video today, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also that like button, because it really helps the channel grow and it's greatly appreciated. So for the review of this bike, I enjoyed riding this bike so much. When I first saw it, I was like, this is way too big. Even though I'm bigger, I'm not used to everything around me also being bigger, so it really stands out. But as soon as I got on it and started riding, I was blown away. It's amazingly comfortable, and I really like that you can fully extend your legs when you're pedaling. And with 36-inch tires, this bike moves. It covers a lot of ground, and you feel like you really pick up speed very easily, and it maintains that speed really well because you barely feel any bumps with a giant 36-inch tires. When I first rode one, it was the first time that I felt normal riding a bicycle, and it was really strange to feel normal on a bike. The pedal size was fantastic. I'm a huge fan of metal pedals, and so not only does it have metal pedals, but they're also plus size, and I can very comfortably fully stand on the bike without bending over too far for the handlebars. And it's also nice that the pedals don't feel like they're going to give out at any moment. It has very smooth action when switching gears, and it just really feels like it glides whenever you're riding it. When you first start riding a DirtySixer, it feels really unnatural because with a normal bike, you kind of have to hunch over or kind of put your weight onto the handlebars, and with this one, you don't have to. So at first, it feels strange, but once you get used to it, I don't know how I'm going to ever ride another bicycle now that I've ridden the best. If you're enjoying this video today, let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to hear feedback from you, and also let me know your thoughts on the DirtySixer bike. I actually had a couple friends come over to ride it as well. One of them is my friend Tyler, who's 6'1", and he kind of struggled to get on the bike, and it was kind of funny watching him ride it, but even he was very complimentary of it. So if you first get one of these, you're going to think, I don't know if it's comfortable because you're not used to it. Give it a few days, even a week, and you'll see it's going to be really tough to go to another bike after you've ridden a DirtySixer. Now, does it get the stamp of approval? Absolutely. But it really depends on your situation. At first, the price is very intimidating. $5,000 is nothing to sneeze at. It's going to be a long time before I get to have a DirtySixer, and it's really hard to convey through camera how great it actually is. And it's not like you can just go to a store and ride one. So you kind of have to just trust that it's going to be worth it. I've tried cheaper options. I've gone through several $400 to $500 bikes. The Del Sol that I reviewed was about $450, and I thought it was decently comfortable, but it's just because I can't afford anymore that I can't get a bike like this that fits even better. During my time with this bike, I really tried to think of reasons why it made sense to go with a budget option for tall people, but I haven't come across any other bikes that really give you what a DirtySixer does. And the only reason that you should not get one is if $5,000 is just too much of a stretch for you. But if you do invest invest in this bike, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. I would love to hear your comments below if you think that's way too much or just what your thoughts are on the bike. But if you want the best possible bike for a taller person and you're willing to spend the money, look no further. DirtySixer is top notch. And if you end up getting one, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. And if I ever get my own DirtySixer, you better believe there's gonna be another video about it. Thank you so much for your time today, everybody. If you wanna support the channel financially, I do have a Patreon. It's $5 a month and I'm building more content to put on it. But every dollar goes towards bringing new products to this channel to review. So check the link in the description below if you wanna see it for yourself. But thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate your time today. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tail Reviews. We'll see you next time.